So at this point, you now know how to make components. So I'm going to go ahead and get one on my screen. R for rectangle, click, let go, drag, push, pull, up, and I have my rectangle, or my box. So I select my spacebar, and I want to triple click on the object to make it a component. Triple click, I now right click, make component, create, and I have an object that is completely finalized. Now, in the other video, we talked about editing this component by double clicking on it. But another thing you can do that's kind of neat with components is you can actually draw on top of existing components. So if I want to create a box on the top of this object, I can draw it, push, pull it up, and unlike the structure that we had when we were looking at the selection tool, if I double click this box at the top, it only selects the faces and the sides associated with that box, because the one underneath is a component. It's all by itself, it's all done. What I can do here then is triple click on the box on the top, make component, and now I have two separate pieces. Now there's another way to do this as well. I can add a piece or an object onto an existing component. So to the side of it, I'm going to draw a smaller box. Triple click, 1, 2, 3, make a component, and create. So here, we want to move this object onto the top. I'm going to just pan, orbit, and zoom out a little bit so that it makes it easier to see everything. We're going to use our move tool. In the toolbar, it's up here next to push pull. But with our hotkey, it's M. So when I click M, you'll see that the move tool icon is 4 arrows pointing in opposite directions. When you move objects, you want to think ahead of time of what you want to connect to each other. For example, if I want to set this box on top of the other, I want the bottom face of the smaller box to be aligned and sitting on the top face of the larger box. So when I move it, I want to think about grabbing on to that bottom section. When you use the move tool, you want to think about either grabbing edges or grabbing corners. That's going to be your best bet. The last thing about this move tool is that it works exactly the same way as drawing an object. You do not click and hold down the button. I'm going to click one time on that corner, and now I'm in the process of moving this object around. I can then slide my mouse and move it around. So what I want to do is I want to try to connect it up to the top, and sometimes it works really well and sometimes it doesn't. When I get it where I want it, I click, and now I have an object in place. So let's do something here. I'm going to Control Z. I'm actually going to move this all the way over here. Let's say that I want to move an object that's somewhere on the screen, somewhere over to an object that's off the screen. I don't think we've talked about this yet, but with Google SketchUp, you can use your camera tools in the middle of drawing or moving. So for example, if I click on this corner and I'm in the process of moving, I can then click my pan tool and slide over, and then if I click my M tool again, I'm still in the process of moving that object. This works the same with anything. I could draw a rectangle, push, pull it up, and let's say I want to go higher than my screen allows. Well, I can grab my zoom tool and pan up, and then when I press P again, it's still in the process of push pulling up. So this is a lesson on moving objects. The next video, we will talk all about inferences. Inferences, as I said in the previous video, are going to let us move objects to exactly where we want them, and it's going to allow us to let Google SketchUp know what we want to have happen.